Episode 5, The Mercy Money. Sebastian woke to the smell of disinfectant and the sound of whispers he wasn't supposed to hear. Family survived. All of them. Miracle. Really. The house came down like it was swallowed. The voices belonged to doctors outside his hospital room, talking in that careful way medical professionals do when the case is more than medical. Let's catch up what happened in the last episode at 3 a.m. The De Silvas burned down the Portuguese villa to destroy the guilt collector in the well beneath it. They escaped through the chapel window as the house collapsed into ash and ruin. But in the forest across the river, other identical villas still stand, and from one of them, fresh smoke was rising. Sebastian's head throbbed. His hands were bandaged, burns from carrying Eliza through the window, though he didn't remember getting burned. The last clear memory was running down that dirt road, Maria clutching the children, Father Joachim on his knees weeping as fire consumed 200 years of colonial sin. After that, just fragments, sirens, flashing lights, someone wrapping a blanket around his shoulders, the smell of smoke in his hair, his clothes, his lungs. He tried to sit up. His body protested. Through the window he could see it was daylight, but he didn't know what day. How long had he been here? A nurse entered, saw him awake, and her professional smile flickered with something else. Pity? Fear? She checked his vitals without meeting his eyes, adjusted his IV, and left quickly, like she didn't want to be alone with him. 10 minutes later, a doctor came, young, efficient, with tired eyes. Mr. De Silva, good to see you conscious. You've been sedated for 2 days. Smoke inhalation, minor burns, shock. Your wife and children are in another wing, all recovering well. You can see them this afternoon. 2 days? Sebastian's voice came out rough, damaged. The fire department found you on the main road. You'd all collapsed from exhaustion and smoke exposure. The doctor paused, choosing his words carefully. The house. There's nothing left. The structure was apparently unstable. When the fire spread, the entire foundation gave way. They're calling it one of the most complete structural collapses they've seen. Sebastian closed his eyes. Good. Let it be gone. Let it be over. But the doctor wasn't finished. There's been some media interest. The house had historical significance. Portuguese colonial era. There are journalists outside asking questions. You don't have to speak to anyone if you don't want to. Media interest, of course. A historical villa burns to the ground with a family inside, and everyone wants the story. The next morning, a woman appeared in his doorway, mid-30s, sharp eyes, carrying a voice recorder and a notepad. Mr. De Silva, I'm Priya Desai, Panjim Herald. I was hoping I could ask you a few questions about the fire. I'm not giving interviews. I understand. But people in the area, they're saying they heard screaming that night. Not just you and your family. Other voices. Dozens of voices. And the way the house burned. She stepped closer, lowered her voice. The fire chief said it shouldn't have spread that fast. They're calling it suspicious. Some are saying arson. Sebastian's heart rate monitor started beeping faster. It was an accident. Old house, old wiring, that's all. Was it? Priya's eyes were intelligent, probing. Because I've been researching that property. It has a history. Families moving in, families moving out. The Fernandez family 4 years ago. They left everything behind. Before them, the Rodriguez family in 2015. Before them, others, always the same pattern. They stay a few weeks, maybe months, then leave in the middle of the night. And the church always finds new tenants. Why do you think that is? I don't know. You'd have to ask the church. I tried. The archdiocese won't comment. In fact, they've already sealed the ruins, declared the site off limits, called it unholy ground requiring sanctification. That's unusual, don't you think? For them to move so fast. Sebastian stared at the ceiling. I really can't help you." Priya studied him for a long moment, then placed a business card on his bedside table. "If you change your mind, or if you remember something you want to share, people deserve to know what happened there." She left, and Sebastian tore up the card as soon as the door closed. That night, Father Joachim came. He entered quietly after visiting hours, moving like he didn't want to be seen. His face had aged a decade in 2 days. He pulled a chair close to Sebastian's bed and spoke in a whisper. "How are you feeling?" "Like I burned down a church. You burned down a prison. There's a difference." Father Joachim's hands were shaking. "The Archdiocese has been busy. They sealed the site this morning. No police investigation, no structural inquiry. They're calling it an electrical fire caused by faulty wiring in an unmaintained historical property. The official story is that you and your family are victims of negligence, the church's negligence in renting out an unsafe building. They're already preparing compensation, relocation costs, new housing, financial support. They'll cover everything: medical bills, trauma counseling for the children, lost possessions. They're being very generous." Joachim met his eyes, on one condition. Sebastian already knew. "I don't talk. You don't talk. Not to journalists, not to historians, not to anyone asking questions about what was really in that house. The church wants this buried, Sebastian, literally and figuratively." The priest didn't answer immediately. When he did, his voice was barely audible. "I don't know. I started researching after we got out. There are 7 houses total in that area, all built between 1822 and 1824, all owned by the church, all with the same architectural design: chapel on the ground floor, sealed basements. I think what we found wasn't unique, Sebastian. I think it was part of a system. The room felt too small, too hot. You're saying there are 6 more of those things? I'm saying I don't know what's in the other basements. But I know the church has been managing these properties for 200 years with extreme secrecy, and I know they'll do anything to keep that secrecy intact." Joachim stood, preparing to leave. "Take the money, Sebastian. Move your family somewhere far from here. Start over, and try to forget what you saw. Can you forget?" Father Joachim's smile was bitter. "No. But I'm not the one with 3 children to protect. They're offering you a way out. Take it." He left, and Sebastian lay in the darkness thinking about money that came with silence attached, about guilt that needed somewhere to go, about systems built to let terrible people sleep peacefully at night. The next morning, he signed the papers. The church representative was polite, efficient, barely made eye contact. The compensation was generous, enough to buy a new house, start fresh, give the children stability. Mercy money, Sebastian thought. Hush money with a religious name. 3 years later, ponder. The evening was warm with cicadas singing in the trees around Sebastian's new house. It was a good house, modern, bright, with large windows that let in loads of light, and a porch where the family ate dinner on, pleasant nights. Nothing like the villa, nothing old, nothing Portuguese, nothing with history. Sebastian's brother Jose had arrived that morning from Lisbon, bringing wine and stories and, well, the kind of easy affection that only brothers share. They sat on the porch after dinner, the kids playing in the yard, Maria cleaning up inside. Jose poured Feni into small glasses and they talked about ordinary things. Jose's work in finance, Sebastian's new job doing IT consulting from home, whether Aaron would make the school football team. "You look good," Jose said. "Healthy, happy even. We're doing okay. It took time, but we're okay. And the kids? After what happened?" Sebastian watched Eliza chase fireflies with her brothers. She was 9 now, taller, but she still hummed that Portuguese lullaby sometimes, the one Anna had taught her. Maria had tried to teach her different songs, tried to replace that melody with something new, but it just persisted. a ghost that lived in music. They're resilient. Therapy helped. They don't talk about the house anymore. Jose sipped his drink. You never told me what really happened that night. I mean, I know the official story. Electrical fire, structural collapse. But I'm your brother, Seb. I can tell when you're not saying something. Sebastian stared out at the darkening yard. The cicadas were loud tonight, almost drowning out thought. Some things should stay buried. That bad. Worse. Jose studied him, then nodded slowly and changed the subject. They talked about their childhood, about their parents who'd passed away years ago, about memories that felt safe and distant. The Fanny bottle emptied. The children came in from the yard, tired and grass-stained. Maria sent them to shower, called goodnight to Jose, and went to tuck them in. The brothers sat in comfortable silence, the kind only years of shared history can create. He looked at his family through the porch window. Maria asleep on the couch, Eliza's nightlight glowing faintly through the curtains. For the first time in years, the house felt truly safe. Sebastian and Jose talked late into the night, their words weaving through memories and years apart. There was so much to share, stories half forgotten, laughter that felt like home again. The night had grown colder. The single bulb on the porch cast a soft, trembling halo of light, marking the edge of safety. Beyond it, the world was pure darkness, silent, endless. Suddenly, a faint chill crept over his face, carrying something that didn't feel like air. Then Sebastian heard it. Faint, but, distinct. Knock, knock, knock. He froze. Jose frowned, setting down his glass. What was that? The sound came again. 3 deliberate knocks, but not from the door. From below, from under the porch. Knock, knock, knock. Sebastian's mouth went dry. He looked at the wall clock. The numbers glowed in the darkness. It was 3 a.m. 3 knocks. 3 years. 3 souls marked. In another town, another basement, someone else might have woken to the same sound.